So SmackDown opens up with The Miz and Maurice in a limo. They arrive to the building and are hyping up that Miz and Mrs. show. Now, thankfully, I live in Canada. I only get Sportsnet, even though I can get USA if I wanted to. But I'm watching on Sportsnet, and what I'm doing is Sportsnet, like, after the show, they don't air Miz and Mrs. They just show sports replay. So I don't get it. So I guess USA, you guys are stuck with it, with that fucking show that nobody will watch. They're just gonna do some kind of celebration. I'm sure Dana Bryan will interrupt. So the show is in Evansville, Indiana. We start off, Randy Orton comes out to the ring, he just talks, he explains why he beats up Jeff Hardy, blames it on the fans, represents the fans. This is a Randy Orton that's in his best. Orton is at his best when he's this evil, vicious heel. The 2009 Randy Orton, I think, is his best heel run. I thought when he was vicious, he'd kick Vince in the head, kick Shane in the head, beat up Stephanie, kiss her, and when Triple H is handcuffed to the rope. That's the vicious, disgusting, despicable Randy Orton people like, and that's when he was at his best. I think ever since then, he's gone downhill. He turned face, and he was face for a few years, for a while. Then he turned back heel, but that was a different Orton. That was just Orton who was the face of the Authority. He was just basically, Triple H and Stephanie were the heels, the main heels. Orton was just like their pawn. So, Orton really wasn't that vicious heel. He turned back face, and he was briefly heel with Bray Wyatt, but now he's been face ever since, and this is not the Orton who's at its best. So the Orton, and he loves being a heel, is this vicious Orton who we haven't seen in a very long time. This is, the guy who puts his finger in Jeff Hardy's earlobe, which is absolutely disgusting. So this was good. Then they go to a backstage, they show a fucking replay of the women's pay-per-view. So what's the over-under? I'm going to say, I think on Raw it was about 58. I'm going to say SmackDown's only 2 hours. I'm going to only give it 28. I'm going to say we get about 28 replays of this fucking Women's Evolution. We all know Women's Evolution. Triple H is going to be crying. Stephanie's, this is so historic. This is better than when I got the right to women to vote. Oh, I'm Stephanie. Yeah, this is all for Stephanie McMahon's political career. And I have all the fucking women hugging, crying after they're having a match. It's like, you just don't see this with the guys. They scream equality. It's like, none of the guys are crying after their fucking matches. Unless the only time you'll see a men crying in the ring is when someone's retiring. It's like, I'm so sick of all these women hugging and breaking kayfabe. They're all hugging on the ramp on Raw, even though they hate each other in storyline. It's just, oh my God, I hate it. I'm turning on the woman. I'm just not enjoying women's wrestling, and Carmella's ruining it too by herself because she sucks so bad as champ. So, anyway. Speaking of women, they go to a backstage segment earlier with Lana and Zelina Vega, who are both dressed in Lana and leather, where they were arguing, and I'd love to see them wrestle. So how about they have a leather panties match? They rip off each other's leather bra and panties. That'd be great. Anyway, so Andrade, Almas, and Rusev are having a match, and all I can stare at is Lana is wearing leather, and so is Zelina Vega. Oh my God, both of them looked fucking hot as hell here. That's all I can pay attention to. Couldn't pay any attention to the match. It's two of the hottest women in the company. I love Zelina Vega. Everyone knows that. And Lana is, we all know how hot she is. It's oh my God, these two in leather. And the problem is when they fought finally outside, it was terrible. It was basically Aiden English came out, and then Zelina Vega just did this horrible looking crossbody, and then almost barely touches Lana, and Lana sells it like she got shot in the damn head, and it was just awful looking. It sucked. I just thought it was just awful. And then Rusev looks like a fucking idiot, almost gets the win, even though the match isn't bad. After the match, you had Lana yelling at Aiden English, and I guess you're gonna get Rusev and Aiden English maybe on the SummerSlam pre-show when there's about 200 people in the arena. Probably that's where we're going. So Archer's in the locker room. He's talking about just a horrible promo. I don't know why he's still on TV. I don't have a problem with him being in place. One of those good guys in the locker room. Everyone loves Ron Killings. I'm sure he's a good guy. It's just I don't want to see him on TV anymore. They're actually having him face Joe, and Joe kills him in about 12 seconds. So yeah. So Asuka's back, and she's cutting a bad promo. They ask her about this Evolution pay-per-view, and she says, how excited she is. It's overselling it. I thought the promo sucked. And Dasha was just horrible. She's interviewing her, and it's just a horrible promo. And then it's like, why you don't put the belt on her? It's too bad. She's really, really good. It's just they stop having her speak English. It's like she doesn't need to speak English. No speak English for Asuka. She can just be a great champion. That's where she should be, but she's ruined. They jobbed her out to Carmella, and she's facing Billie Kay here. Iconics, man, their run is just terrible. It's unfortunate. They were good in NXT. I like them, but it's like they've been handled terribly here, and they're just manufactured WWE women. It's unfortunate. I was a big fan of both Billie and Peyton in NXT. It's just, It's been an absolute disaster. So Asuka destroys Billie Kay, and Billie Kay is clearly the lesser of the two and how they pushed them, even though, Peyton Royce, they had the camera on Peyton Royce's ass on Raw, if everyone noticed that. They had it for a while, but I guess the thing with Billie and Peyton, when they introduce the women's tag titles, they can be a heel tag champs, but I'm afraid they're just going to get that go-away Carmella heat because the way they're booking them is terrible. So Nakamura ripping into Jeff Hardy was one of those stupid cell phone promos. Such a waste of Nakamura. So they say Miz and Maurice are taking photos backstage or setting that up. Daniel Bryan, I'm sure, will cash it. So now they're going to do this big thing with AJ Styles, this contract match of SummerSlam. So Paige comes out. AJ's out too. So Paige is with AJ. And what Paige is going to do is she's going to announce AJ's opponent. And they're teasing it, and I'm thinking to myself, all right, Joe's going to come out somehow. What I'm thinking is going to happen, this is WWE. Joe comes out, Nakamura comes out, two other heels, Miz comes out, some other heel, I don't know, Almas or somebody comes out, Daniel Bryan comes out, and then probably some other, guy, I don't know, Randy Orton or somebody comes out, and then they announce it's going to be 3 singles matches in the finals next week on Raw. That's what I think is going to happen, but that's not what they did. They didn't do that. Paige comes out, and she goes on for a while. Then AJ comes out. He's going over. The crowd likes him a lot, and he's talking about his accomplishments. And then Paige is announcing AJ's opponent, and then James Ellsworth comes out, and then and she calls him a joke. Paige is ripping into Ellsworth. And Ellsworth, he says this thing to Paige. It's we can't understand you, and look at how she looks. Remember Paige got body shamed? A fan was calling her fat. It's is that what they're saying? And then he calls her pale as a ghost. And then Paige fires James Ellsworth. The crowd loves it. They call for security to get rid of Ellsworth, and then they show Paige going into the back. Ellsworth's being thrown out. So Ellsworth is gone. So hopefully that means it's it for Carmella, and she loses her SmackDown Women's title at SummerSlam to Becky, because that's what's going to happen, I hope. And hopefully Carmella gets devalued and depushed for a while, because if they keep the belt on her, it's James Ellsworth was just there to bury Asuka. Can they have just had Asuka win the belt and just do Asuka and Becky and have Becky beat Asuka at SummerSlam? They could have done that, honestly. But instead, Asuka sacrificed for fucking James Ellsworth, this fucking guy. Should have never came back. Should have never been hired. Stuff he did with AJ when he pinned. It's kind of ironic he got fired in the segment with AJ because he got that stupid. He got killed by Braun Strowman first, and then he beat AJ in some fluke and stuff with Ambrose. He kept bringing him back, and they kept doing all the stuff. Then he gets hired, and he put him with Carmella. Quick note. So since this is the end of the Carmella James Ellsworth era, when they first got together in December of 2016 on SmackDown, I was at that show. I was at the SmackDown in Detroit. I watched it. I saw Carmella and James Ellsworth when they first got together. I saw the segment backstage at Carmella. I saw, AJ killed him. He had a match with AJ, and AJ destroyed him in the first segment of the show. And then later in the show, they had a segment with him in a stretcher, and he had his whole face taped up, and then Carmella was them. So I saw the beginning of Carmella and Ellsworth, and hopefully, for God's sakes, we've seen the end. So Samoa Joe comes out, sneaks attack AJ, beats the hell out of him, and announces he has the match. He signs the contract, says TikTok. Joe looked out of shape here, I'm not going to lie. And then they show Samoa Joe backstage with Paige, and he's cutting a promo. So that's our match, SummerSlam. We all knew that would happen. It's AJ Joe. So, yeah. And TNA is fine. Remember in TNA, they always say, two guys who helped build TNA, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe. You hear Foley say that all the time, and all those other guys, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe. All they're at SummerSlam for the Wrestling for the WWE Championship. So they show Carmella with Paige, and Carmella is just fucking abysmal. I don't even want to talk about her anymore. Like, it's nothing personal to her. I'm sure she's a nice person, not a bad person or anything. It's just she is fucking terrible. She's the worst champion ever, and I see what she posts on Twitter. She makes herself like a victim. I breathe. Fans say, "Oh, you don't deserve that air. Someone else should have gotten." I'm thinking to myself, "Look, Carmella, it's not that fans hate you personally. It's just like you're fucking terrible at your job, and you should be fired. And you fucking suck. You should have no business being champion." Anyway, Carmella and Becky have a match. Carmella is fucking garbage in the ring. She's terrible. She's fucking terrible. Like, she's been in NXT for so long, and she's so bad. It's like all these other ones have been in NXT, and she has like as much experience as most of them, and they're all way better than her. She is just fucking garbage. She's abysmal. Terrible match. Becky gets the victory. She gets to the Stormers. So it's Carmella and Becky. I'm so excited to see that at SummerSlam. Just please, for God's sakes, get the belt off that fucking loser. She is fucking garbage. That fucking horseshit wrestler. Oh my God. Every single time I try to go on this fucking major rant. So you had Harper and Rowan cutting a Bludgeon Brothers promo, so it was alright. So the whole SmackDown tag titles, you have Biggie and Kofi are against Sanity, so it's Killian and Alexander. They have a match here, and New Day gets the victory. I didn't like how they beat Sanity. Like, they do that even Steven booking again. They just did it with Reigns and Lashley. They do it again 2 weeks later. Like, they had Sanity get a win on the pay-per-view, now it means nothing because they lose on TV. It's like, wins and losses mean nothing. It's Sanity. I don't like them getting beat all this time now. I think they need Nikki Cross more than ever. So, also throwing the Usos around commentary. I keep thinking to myself, like, I like the Usos, but why are they black? Why are they allowed to act black? If that was two like white guys doing it, they'd be called racist and stuff. Like New Day, I guess, or Usos, because they're Samoan, they get to act black. They're not black. They're Samoan. It's like they always talk like they're black. It's just annoying. I don't know. I can't get over that, I guess. Anyway, New Day gets the win, so I guess they advance. And next we give Usos and against Harper and Rowan, or against the Bar. Bar came out actually. So they show, the Bar to hype up the match next week. So Paige was backstage at Miz and Maurice, and then Miz and Maurice come out and they talk about their premiere, and they show a video package. And then what happens is like they say like they show like the greatest hits of the Miz getting beat up, and I guess they make the illusion that Daniel Bryan must have hacked the video package and changed and edited it. It was okay. It was like the Miz getting beat up. And then Daniel Bryan comes out, and what they did was they had like the Miz having like a fake baby in his chest. Like you can tell, like you get one of those things that a guy wears to hold the baby, like a baby holder, and he's holding it like up on his chest. And Daniel Bryan comes out and thinks himself, I know what's going to happen. It's a fake baby. And Daniel Bryan beats up security, and then he gets fooled by the Miz and Maurice. Miz lays out Daniel Bryan, hits him with a skull-crushing finale, and that's their match. I guess we're setting up for SummerSlam. Daniel Bryan still hasn't signed. I'm sure he will sign. Now, I'm going to end the show here. SmackDown wasn't very good. I thought, I'm bored. I'm so sick. I'm just not into SummerSlam build-up at all. I don't care for this card. I'm just not into the show. But one thing I really wanted to mention about Daniel Bryan, I have a cool booking idea. Here's what I would do. I would let him go. I say, you make an agreement that he comes back for the Royal Rumble. So what I would do is I'd let him go. I'd let him go to wrestle. I'd let him wrestle All In September. Then I'd let him wrestle throughout the next few months in the Indies as much as he wants. I mean, not too much. And I'd have him work all the big shows and New Japan show, Ring of Honor shows, all the big shows, all the big companies. And then I'd have him work the Tokyo Dome show on January 4th, New Japan's Tokyo Dome show. And then what I would do, I would do the surprise thing, like I'd hide him, like you know how they did with Ronda Rousey when they tried to hide her at the Royal Rumble? I'd hide him and then have him come back at the Royal Rumble, win the Royal Rumble finally. Then I'd also have The Miz win the title from AJ Styles instead of giving AJ a long reign, maybe at the Royal Rumble. And I'd have Miz and Daniel Bryan for the title. So I'd have Miz win at SummerSlam, and then I'd have Daniel Bryan get this major redemption story, come back, win the Rumble, and then beat The Miz at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. That's what I would do. What do you guys think? That's just just some cool booking decisions, but SmackDown tonight was what it was. Nothing much, just a forgettable show.